What's up everyone, and welcome to another Pokemon X and Y update. It's been about 2 months since the last update we got for Pokemon X and Y, and that was the big reveal of the new evolution, Sylveon. A lot of people seem to really enjoy the video I did for that, and so today I'm going to be attempting something similar with a brand new Pokemon that's been revealed. Now before we get started, this Pokemon doesn't have a solid name chosen for it yet, so for this video we're going to be referring to it as Mewthree. We got our first look at Mewthree through an image posted on a Japanese message board about a week ago, which showcased what appeared to be a new Mewtwo form along the Extreme Speed Genesect and Ash and friends from the anime. However, at the time this was posted, there wasn't any confirmation that this was legit. That is, until today, when on the Japanese TV show Pokemon Smash, Game Freak developer Junichi Masuda revealed the new Pokemon. Shortly after, the official Pokemon website updated, showcasing the brand new Pokemon. Or is it a Mewtwo form? Well, the truth is, we're not certain yet. It could be a brand new Pokemon, or it could be a form of the already existing Mewtwo. I actually have a couple of theories of my own, but before getting to that, let's go over what we already do know about this new Pokemon. So first off, we have this short video released in which we see the new Pokemon in battle, much like they did for Sylveon, and we get to see more of what the game basically looks like. To me, it seems to look a little bit more polished than it used to. Then we have the Pokemon, of course, in battle, using a couple of attacks, Magical Leaf and Energy Ball there first. Then we have what seems to be Shadow Ball, as well as some kind of Ice-type move, maybe like Psy-Wave, that looks like. Basically a ton of moves here being used by the Pokemon. So let's go ahead and play that back once again with sound this time. So if you guys know exactly all the moves being used by this Pokemon, let me know. But I think I got most of them, or at least a close idea of what it seems to be. A lot of Psychic-type moves being used by this Pokemon, and because he is related to Mew and Mewtwo, I would assume that this Pokemon is going to be of the Psychic type. Not really that much question about it, like Sylveon had a lot of questions regarding its typing, so for this one I'm going to say probably going to be a Psychic type. However, there's still a lot of mystery surrounding this Pokemon other than just its typing. Now on screen you're seeing a couple of images that were also posted alongside this video, showcasing some still images from that video, as well as just basically the physical appearance of the Pokemon, which at first hand definitely reminds me a lot of Mewtwo, and it seems to be why it's more closely related to Mewtwo than Mew, though I would assume it has some connection to both of them. So there we had it using Psy-Wave, here appears to be Shadow Ball or some other dark type kind of Energy Ball move, as well as Energy Ball itself here. So once again, the Pokemon website has made a nice little compilation of all the images and videos revealed today, so if you guys want to check them out for yourselves, that will be linked down in the description. But let's take a look at this. At the very top it says, "Who is this new Pokemon?" signifying to me that it is a new Pokemon and not really a new form. However, that could just be, them not wanting to reveal whether it is a form or a Pokemon itself. The question mark's under its name because it still doesn't really have an official name, though if it does follow in suit with Mew and Mewtwo, it's most likely going to be Mewthree, though if it is just a form of Mewtwo, then it will most likely just keep the name Mewtwo. Below the video it says, "The mysteries of Pokemon X and Pokemon Y continue to grow with the unveiling of a Pokemon that is strangely familiar. It looks a lot like the powerful legendary Pokemon Mewtwo, but not quite the same. This new Pokemon shares many traits with Mewtwo, including a light purple body and piercing powerful eyes." A lot of this hints to it being sort of a form of Mewtwo, but then again it sort of contradicts with the top title which says a brand new Pokemon, so we really don't know for certain yet, but I'm sure that we'll find out as the game gets closer to being released. One final little cool thing that I saw on the website is this little sort of history segment on Mewtwo. So we see the legendary Pokemon Mewtwo, and it goes through sort of a recap of what exactly happened with Mewtwo, where it came from, the game that it originated from, which at first hand it might seem like it's just for new players that don't really know who Mewtwo is, which is very surprising and kind of sad to say, but, there are some people that are new to the games, maybe from Black and White, or even to this game they might be new to it. However, it does go through and explain how Mewtwo came to be created by being engineered from the genes of another powerful Pokemon, the mythical Mew. And as you guys know, Pokemon X and Y seems to have a strong relation with DNA, and that's going to go a little bit more over into my speculation segment, which is coming up in a little bit. But this final paragraph here, "A new chapter begins. Now a newly discovered Pokemon appears in X and Y, a Pokemon that bears curious resemblance to the legendary Mewtwo." It really seems like Pokemon is trying really hard to shroud this guy in mystery, so I'm really excited to see what exactly it could be. And as I said, I do have my own little ideas, but we'll see those in a bit. Next, we're going into one of my favorite parts of these videos, and that is analyzing the physical appearance of this Pokemon. Yeah, I know that's a little weird, but bear with me. First off is the obvious resemblance it has to Mewtwo specifically. It's got the same color scheme, the same eyes, and the same sort of tail, except this time it seems to be growing from its head rather than where a tail usually goes. It's got a head tail. A lot of people seem to be weirding out over this whole head tail with the horns and the weird arch growing out of it, but I don't really mind it. I think it looks pretty cool, and it actually reminds me a lot of Majin Buu, which is weird because Mewtwo reminded me a lot of Frieza. Conspiracy theory? I don't think so. Anyway, the next thing that I noted is that it seems to look a lot smaller than Mewtwo. In fact, I could even compare it to be Mew-sized. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, it's just smaller than Mewtwo. It still keeps that whole cat-looking feel to it, and it's got weird eggplant fingers. And toes. And now comes the fun part, and that's figuring out the mystery behind this brand new Pokemon. Is it a form of the already existing Mewtwo, or is it a brand new Pokemon altogether? The statements we've seen so far really seem to contradict themselves. The video uploaded to the official Pokemon channel seems to call it a new Pokemon with a familiar look, and the post on the Pokemon website seems to say a brand new Pokemon, but then why is it so closely related to Mewtwo specifically and not Mew? There's also the upcoming 16th Pokemon movie, which is set to feature Genesect battling against Mewtwo, and the poster where we originally saw Mewthree was from that same movie. So will this new Pokemon actually appear in the movie, and if it does, will it be a brand new Pokemon or a form of Mewtwo? Speaking of Pokemon movies, let's go back way to the past, to the very first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, which actually also features Mewtwo. Could it be the same Mewtwo? I know that would be really awesome, but I don't think so. Anyway, this movie explains the origin of Mewtwo and how it was a Pokemon created by science. It was built to be the strongest Pokemon of them all, cloned from the all-powerful and mythical Mew, a Pokemon that knows every single attack and has amazing stats, so Mewtwo was definitely made to be the strongest Pokemon ever. But Mewtwo wasn't exactly perfect, so here's my little fan theory. What if there was another clone of Mew, one that was closer to the original than Mewtwo himself? I mean, Mewthree here seems to kind of fit that description. It's a lot smaller and looks a little bit more like Mew than Mewtwo did, and it seems to be using a really big variety of moves in the video we saw, so maybe this Mewthree is actually the perfect clone of Mew. I know it might seem a little weird or far-fetched, but I don't think it's very far from the truth. And it would tie in with the new Pokemon movie, with Mewtwo and Mewthree having some sort of awesome rivalry in which they battle each other, and it just seems like it would be a really cool idea to me. But if that doesn't tickle your fancy, then here's another idea I've got. As you know, Pokemon X and Y seems to be closely related to the topic of DNA, with the Japanese logos having little DNA strands in them. Now back in Pokemon Black and White 2, we were introduced to a brand new item, and that was the DNA Splicer, an item that allowed you to combine Pokemon, in Black and White 2's case, Kyurem with Reshiram or Zekrom. Strap your seatbelts because this shit's about to get crazy! What if in X and Y the DNA Splicers make a comeback, and the new form we're seeing is actually a fusion of Mew and Mewtwo? Is your mind exploding yet? Because it really does seem like it could be true. I know at first it sounded crazy, but looking at it now, it really does look like a combination of both Pokemon. And tying it in with the DNA splicers and the fact that Mewtwo originally was created from gene splicing, it just seems to really fit in. But that's just my theory. It may end up being super far from the truth and people will come back to this video in time and be like, man, this guy's on some drugs, man. But you know what? That's what I think, honestly, and I'm gonna stick to it. And that is all we know about this brand new Pokemon. Could it be Mewthree, Mewtwo, Mewtwo? I don't know. But that has been my analysis and thoughts on this brand new Pokemon. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this brand new Pokemon. Where do you think it came from? What do you think it is? A brand new Pokemon or a new form on Mewtwo? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, because those are good and they make me feel good inside. So until next time, I leave you with Japanese people being Japanese. Enjoy.